We need to talk about our smartphone behavior. Something happened, guys. Something happened in the last decade that impacts us more than it should. I want to take you back to the year 1999. There was already internet, but it was only on the computer. We used to have one computer in the house that was in the study room. So when I wanted to go online, I had to go upstairs to the study room. I would start a very old and slow PC, then dial in the internet. Wouldn't work the first time, so you had to try 2-3 times. In the meantime, I could have made coffee or, make a toasty or something. And then finally, when I was online on the computer, I would have utterly slow internet in the World Wide Web. Maybe I would spend some time. We already had MSN Messenger at that time. But after a while, you would be kind of done with it, and you would switch off the computer and go back downstairs to be with your family or to meet with your friends. Nowadays, we are online, in the train, on the toilet, in the bath, when we are going to a concert, when we are meeting with friends in a cafe, when we go out in a restaurant. This machine follows us everywhere. And this has a big impact. So the online world infiltrated the offline world, the social environment. And although there are great benefits to the smartphone, there are also some disadvantages. You see, when we started using it, we didn't really think about why and for what we wanted to use it. We just started doing it. And now, on average, we open our phone 150 times a day. That's a lot. And I'm pretty sure nobody goes to bed at night thinking, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow? I'm going to check my phone 150 times. What a great idea. So it's a very unconscious behavior that it somehow activates in all of us. So to make sure that the phone is not using us and we are using the phone for our purposes, we need to think about our smartphone behavior. We need to observe what we are doing. Also observe how it impacts us socially in the public space. So when you reflect on your own smartphone behavior, are there things that you like about what you do or don't like about what you do? And can we think of social codes? We are the first generation to deal with this type of technology. So we are the test dummies, but we are also the pioneers who need to invent the social codes. Now there are multiple psychologists and neuroscientists that are waving red flags of emergency. They see the benefits, but they also see severe disadvantages to our smartphone behavior. I want to at least share with you what they say, and then see for yourself how this is applicable to you. All right, we are all investigating this. First of all, and this comes mainly from the psychologist corner, due to the smartphone, we have less real face-to-face conversations, and we spend less time alone doing nothing. To start with a conversation, human conversation in itself is always very unpredictable. You never know if the person will actually listen to you or will interrupt you or will get emotional about what you say. And chatting offers you a more calm, controlled and distant way of communicating. You can compose your message, you can edit it, you can delete it. You can put a smiley to give it some emotion, but that's it. So it gives us a sense of control, which we apparently enjoy. But therewith, we miss the fruits of a real conversation. And a good human conversation in itself is creative, can make you change your mind, helps you develop ideas, can learn something, can teach you something new. It enables us to feel connected to each other. Our empathy mechanism doesn't get easily switched on through chat. It's not impossible, but it's less likely to happen. When we see each other, it goes very automatically. So we feel more connected and we feel more that we share things together. So in the whole story of having social needs, it is the real-time conversation face-to-face that gives us a fulfilled feeling that really nurtures and feeds us. We spend less time alone doing absolutely nothing. I'm not an exception. The moment I am early for a meeting or I am meeting with someone and this person goes to the bathroom, I take my phone out of my bag and I check. I check. Not that I'm expecting something important, but I'll check anyway, keeping myself busy until this person comes back. Time alone is very important for our mental health. Our brain needs a break every now and then from input to process emotions, to process thoughts, to process experiences. If you never spend time alone without input, how will you come to a new creative idea? How will you develop your thoughts? How and when will you think of that issue with a friend that you need to solve? When will you have the time to think about your future and the next step that you want to take? This is why time alone is actually pretty sacred. It's that moment to connect to yourself and hear your own thoughts. You know that we have actually quite a gigantic and genius computer right here. And if it's only processing what you put in there, you never give it the chance to produce something for you, to come back with an answer. So we need time alone to hear ourselves think and speak. Also to relax, because all this input overdrive causes anxiety, causes stress, because our primitive brain is like, I don't know what's going on there, but it looks bad, because it's overstimulated. So actually those moments of waiting somewhere or having nothing to do are essential for our balance and for our stability. From the neurological corner of scientists, we are warned for the neurological high that our smartphone causes or triggers. The main hormone that is related to this neurological high is dopamine. Dopamine is one of the happy hormones that us humans are blessed with. And it's a very brief, short-term, not really going anywhere type of feeling and reward. If dopamine could speak, it would say, do it again, do it again, do it again. Whatever you just did, do it again. So it makes you do things again, all right? But it's not thinking and it's not a smart hormone or anything. It just feels good, makes you repeat things. And the smartphone is designed in such a way that this dopamine loop is triggered basically all the time, all right? So there are three main brain processes that trigger dopamine. And one of them is multitasking. Multitasking means that you're switching your attention to different things very fast. Because really, we can only focus on one thing at a time. So you may think you're doing multiple things at the same time, but your brain is just switching really fast. Every time you switch your attention, you get a dopamine shot. Don't ask me why. It's just how it works. So you switch from the weather to WhatsApp, and you get a dopamine shot. Ooh, email, dopamine shot. Switch, switch, switch. There it goes. Multitasking harms your ability to focus. In the long run, if you multitask too much, you won't be able to sit down and read an article for 2 hours. You will feel the need to get another dopamine fix and look for distractions almost. So it harms our ability to focus. Multitasking also creates anxiety. It's too disturbing for the brain. It gets a little bit alarmed by all this overload. Another thing that triggers dopamine is novelty. Every time you get a notification, a new message, a new email, you get a dopamine shot. Easy as that, even when the news itself is not interesting. I found myself scrolling. Facebook is mainly my trouble scrolling on Facebook without really reading anything, without even looking for anything, without really being interested in anything, just scrolling, staying there. It is the dopamine loop that keeps you there. You are not really searching for anything. If you not recognize this type of scrolling, I hereby tell you that's the dopamine loop. And it doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't help you to move forward in life. It doesn't help you to reach your goals. It's just a ha-ha, ha-ha, ha-ha. That's it. And finally, we get dopamine shots for completing tasks as a reward. So the moment you get that notification of a new message, boom, dopamine. There's also the trigger to complete the task immediately. So there's an immediacy related to the smartphone that captures your attention even more. So there comes a message, dopamine, you complete the message, dopamine. It's a dopamine circus. And it will keep us busy and our attention triggered as long as you allow it to. But it's a magnet. This thing is a distraction circus. Absolutely distracting circus. And the sad thing is that it harms our ability to really focus. Not only on writing a paper or a thesis, but also harming our attention to other people. So listening with attention, fully giving your attention, becomes harder because your brain gets trained and wired to constant distraction. So you will talk to someone and think, shall I check WhatsApp? I need to check WhatsApp. Not that you're expecting anything concretely, no, but you need to check. The urge to keep checking is connected to the dopamine loop. Sounds pretty serious, right? So, having said that, we need to figure out how we want to use this device, how we can use it to our advantage only. Also keep in mind that, imagine if I would be sitting here talking to you with my phone in my hand. I give a very strong message. Subconsciously, you will think, this lady is sitting there, but actually she's on the phone, or actually she's waiting for something on the phone. I prioritize my phone by showing it to you. So when you are talking to someone, make sure that this thing disappears out of sight. If you want to make the other person feel that you are really there and you are really listening. This is not pretty for our nonverbal understanding of each other. So, having said all that, I would like to inform you about this week's assignment. I would love for you to observe yourself and your surroundings in exactly this, the smartphone behavior. What do you see happening? How does it impact us? Can you notice advantages and negative effects? I would love for you to find 2 positive and 2 negative effects. Then, I invite you to prepare your digital diet. Part of this course is 1 week of digital diet. It will start next week with your tutorial group, and this week you can prepare yourself. So ask yourself, what is your biggest smartphone candy? What is the app or the whatever that makes you go there multiple times a day? What is your biggest waste of time on your phone? And then see if you can, design a diet for yourself. Maybe remove this app completely or restrict somehow your time that you spend on it. Just for 1 week. See if you can go a little bit wild for 1 week doing things completely different. Just to see the impact. Just to see how that affects you. This is pretty much the biggest assignment of this whole course, and it will only give you more free time. Isn't that a marvelous idea? So prepare yourself, get ready for the diet, and then you will start next week with your group all together. And additionally, I would like you to design or invent 2 social codes that you wish to see implemented in the world. So what do you consider really not done? How can we limit the harm of the presence of smartphones in our offline environment? We are the pioneers of this whole phenomenon. We need to take control here.